Welcome to Schmuckast. This is Matt Weatherford.
And Lenny Sherman.
The engineer's got the day off, so we're doing everything here.
I am the mad scientist.
We're in control of this. Manager's got the day off too, so we have free room of the studio.
My upstairs man cave.
Better no. All right. So what's up? How you doing?
Pretty good. So we got a lot to talk about. This is the first time in a long time that I've had something to really talk about.
Well, and what is it?
Well, let's get this out of the way, because I know it's going to come up sometime in the hour. But Rear Window.
Oh, Rear Window.
I
sure.
saw it, and I always have a hard time discussing Hitchcock with you. It just seems that you're so much more versed in Hitchcock.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah.
So, well, let's talk about the movies I've seen so far, because I think this is the fifth one.
Well, let's definitely start with the
this.
latest one you've seen. Is
You want to start
Rear
with
Window?
Rear Window? All right.
Give the people a little synopsis, would you?
Okay, well, you've got a photographer played by James Stewart. His name is Jeff, and he was at the races, right? That was his event, and he got really hurt because he was taking a
Photos.
picture. He was taking a picture of something, and he was trying to get like the best angle possible, and he was in a really dangerous spot, so he ends up
In a wheelchair.
So when the movie opens, he's in an apartment building. And he's basically a voyeur. He has binoculars and he looks at all of his neighbors. It starts off really innocently, and he makes up like all these nicknames for his neighbors, like
Miss Torso,
Miss Torso, and
Miss Lonely Hearts,
Lonely Hearts. And what's really cool about the movie is each one of these characters that he sees, they have their own little backstories, but it's all based on what the James Stewart character sees.
Right.
Which is really interesting. You've got his girlfriend, played by Grace Kelly, Lisa, her name is, right?
Yeah.
And he's not real sure about his relationship with her. He basically, as a photographer, she's a fashion model, and she lives kind of like a sheltered life, right?
Her or him?
Her. Well,
she's not sheltered.
Not sheltered, but like upper class.
Yeah, she's in the magazines and the cocktail parties,
very fancy,
as he says.
And he goes out.
The latest scandal.
Yeah. And his lifestyle as a photographer, he goes off to like really bad areas of the country and photographs whatever. So he doesn't want to. What it boils down to is he doesn't really want to drag her into that lifestyle. So the way I saw it was the reason why he didn't want to get close to her was because he didn't. He was looking out for her.
He was more interested in the people outside his window. They had become his fascination.
Yeah.
And that's why he gets so excited when he sees Grace Kelly go into the screen. When she goes over to the other side of the apartment. I think that's the theme. He's becoming a little obsessed about the people across the way.
Yeah, which is also kind of a theme that his character did in Vertigo, kind of obsessive romance.
Yep.
So anyway, throughout the film, he's a voyeur and he sees all these different people. And at first, Lisa, his girlfriend, kind of looks down on him for it. Says, you really, what's that one line she says? You should try stepping outside of your house and looking inside for a change.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting.
Lots of good lines in that movie.
But eventually, he gets interested in this character named Thorwald, who's played by, I can't think of his name.
The more he sees it, the more he watches the people. Yep.
Yeah, Raymond Burr plays Thorwald.
There's the nagging wife.
And so Thorwald has this nagging wife, and he believes throughout the film that he witnesses a murder, that Thorwald killed his wife. He can't prove it yet, but there's all of these little hints throughout the film. Like the dog that gets killed and the roses, the dog keeps sniffing near the rose
What's
bush.
nice about Rear Window is like what you said, you see what he sees. That's the whole point of Rear Window. That's what makes it
it makes for really interesting filmmaking because the entire film, for the most part, takes place in the apartment.
It always does.
Yeah, you see what he sees.
They never leave the apartment,
Yeah. So, and the, let's see. Oh, I really like that character Stella, the nurse played by Thelma Ritter.
Thelma Ritter,
yeah, because she was so blatantly honest and very likable. And what's really cool about it is they both look down at him for being a voyeur and looking at these people, and eventually they get caught up in what he's trying to. They all get like involved.
He slowly starts to convince them, except for his detective friend, which was kind of funny. You get those headaches? I'm having one right now. Thanks.
Yeah.
And he goes, they'll go away along with the hallucinations. But anyways,
and that's something I noticed about the nurse and about his girlfriend, about Lisa, was that they transformed from outsiders to being kind of like part of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
So they were all sucked into this. And not only do they become voyeurs, but like you mentioned, now Lisa becomes an active ingredient when she invades Thorwald's apartment. So like you said...
And that's when he starts to be scared for her, and he looks at her lovingly when she comes running back. How did I do? And he's all smiling at her. Well, he's totally into her then because...
Right, and what's really interesting, though, about that, too, is it's like they for the whole film, it's kind of like we're all voyeurs. We're all, and that's who said. Was it Hitchcock who said that? Really, film. When we watch films, we're all voyeurs, even though
you're watching strangers
through a window
in their lives. Yep.
Yeah. So what's interesting about that though is we're all voyeurs, and then all of a sudden, when Lisa goes over there to investigate the apartment, she gets attacked. All of a sudden, now we become very active in the plot. We're no longer voyeurs.
Well, the key is that you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like him being injured, he can't move.
Right.
So we're feeling the same kind of when she's up there and he sees Lars coming through the hallway, he can only sit there. He can do nothing. Powerless. And that you feel it because it's a very subjective film. And Hitchcock always used a lot of POV shots. He wanted you inside the minds of his characters. That was the whole point. And Rear Window is almost the best, clearest example of it. I think so anyways, because you see everything he sees. You see what he sees and then he reacts and you react. If you ever watch the film again, I hope you do, because I think it will become a favorite of yours. You'll see more. You'll see just how well crafted it really is.
Yeah.
He was in complete control of that picture. He was taking you on I think you called it a roller coaster.
Yeah. There's not a lot I can really say about the plot without spoiling anything. It's one of those things that kind of starts off kind of just slow, but what he does that's so interesting, what Hitchcock does, is he gives us these little side stories of all the other neighbors. Yeah. So when Thorwald comes in, it's almost like Thorwald's story is like a secondary story. Because
it is.
I want to see more about these other characters.
It's almost not even about the murder.
Yeah.
It's
and all these other characters, they evolve throughout the film, like
the married couple.
Miss Lonely Hearts.
I like the married couple the married couple that comes in all lovey-dovey, and then later he's out there having a cigarette, and she's like, Larry! And he's just like, oh, shit. You see it over time that, you see their lives unfold. And, you see the musician trying to get that piece, but he can't never get it just right. And I love that line. Where does he get an inspiration to write a song like that? And he goes, he gets it from the landlord twice a month. Very cynical, But he must have been miserable. He's stuck in that, and I like when she brings the restaurant to his, remember that when she orders the dinner from the restaurant, brings it in, and he goes, Lisa, it's perfect. Like always.
Well, what strikes me about Jimmy Stewart from the films I've seen, he's kind of like the everyman. When I look at him, I don't see really a movie star. To me, I see like the everyman.
Yep.
And he's been compared a lot to Tom Hanks.
Right.
I actually looked up online Jimmy Stewart.
Well, Tom Hanks has been compared to Jimmy Stewart.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they're both kind of like.
Oh, Hitchcock loved that about Jimmy Stewart. He saw him as the everyman.
Now, when you look at someone like Grace Kelly, she does scream movie star. So when she walked in, I didn't realize that she actually genuinely loves him in the film.
Yeah, that's my favorite entrance of a woman ever in a movie, I think. When he's sitting there in his chair and you see the shadow, and then she just leans into the camera like that, and then when she kisses him, it's all like slow-mo. It's like a dream when she does it. That's my favorite entrance of any woman, I think. And they decked her out in the most beautiful dresses you'd ever seen. I mean,
yeah. The only other thing I have to really say about it is
here, think of the opening shot. He doesn't say anything. Hitchcock shows you his whole room, right? You see him in a cast, then you see the pictures, then you see Grace Kelly. You know he's a photographer just by the images. It's a beautiful very first shot because he tells you everything about that character. You know how you were just giving me the character description? You see that on the first shot of the movie. He doesn't say a word, but the visuals, the way he pans over everything slowly, gives you the whole story of a character.
Don't they show like images of the race and everything?
Yep,
and
and then you see the broken camera, and you deduce that he's, like you just said, you learn that all in one shot with a camera, without saying nothing, without doing nothing. That is pure cinema.
And the movie as a whole, because what's really nice is as Jimmy Stewart is looking through his window and he's observing all his neighbors, you hear all of the ambient sounds of the neighborhood. You hear all the neighbors talking to each other across the way. It feels like a real environment. That's what I really appreciated about the film more than anything.
Thank you. And they did the sound like that. They really would play something a ways away and get the all the sounds were. That was exactly right. It wasn't like they staged it. He wanted the exact same sound as Jimmy Stewart would hear it.
And he built that. Didn't Hitchcock build
that?
Yeah,
they had to tear out a ground. I just watched a documentary on it. So instead of watching it, I watched like a 50-minute documentary. It was really cool though. It gives you a lot of insight about just what he was trying to do. But yeah, they had to dig out a basement of a studio. One of the best sets I've ever seen for a film, especially when you think that it's the whole movie. And that's your whole movie. That's it. They kind of described it as Hitchcock with a dollhouse. Pretty much, and he got to play, I hope you do watch it again. I think it will become a favorite of yours. It's got a timeless quality to it, and it's still very scary. I still get pretty creeped out when Raymond Burr comes up those stairs at the end of the movie, and he comes into his room, and that's so intense because you're there with him. You've been there the whole time, those last 10 minutes of that movie should be thrilling to anybody if you've seen, watch from start to finish.
I think every Hitchcock film I've seen, with the exception of Psycho. Psycho, I think I've seen twice. The other ones I've only seen once. But there are certain movies we've talked about that I have a hard time revisiting right now. Hitchcock films, pretty much all the ones I've seen so far, I would like to revisit them soon.
Well, they're worth it. Oh, well, very soon, I hope. They're worth it. I get on a binge with Hitchcock with me for some reason. When I watch Rear Window, I want to watch Vertigo, and then I want to watch
and everyone you've recommended, I actually look forward to watching Hitchcock films.
Hey, man, that's good to hear, man.
Remember the other day I told you that I was going to start, I wanted to watch the Pink Panther, the original, because it had Peter Sellers. I started watching it, and I couldn't finish it.
It's not Hitchcock, man.
No.
You know what it is, Lenny? You're a filmmaker, and Hitchcock is someone you're going to really appreciate. And I think that first shot of Rear Window, he did so much with a camera just without saying nothing. He was great at silent film.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do, as you all know in your ventures. And that's just great storytelling, to be able, in one shot of a camera, have the whole story of your character right there.
Yeah.
That is so cool. It's not easy to do. He was a jokester. He was real funny. He would hide the corpse of the mother in Janet Leigh's closet. And he would use different ones, and she thinks he was just trying to find the scariest one, so he kept hiding different ones and recording how loud she'd scream. He was a great man. Really, he had fun, and he entertaining films. It's not just, you can analyze them, and that's fun, but they're still entertaining as well, and that's what makes them so great.
But that's why, again, you should see the movie Hitchcock, not just because it's about the making of Psycho, but because it does kind of get into his married life, the kind of man he might have been behind the camera, how he dealt with his actors.
What's the next Hitchcock movie you're going to watch? Because this is like a part of your class now. This is like your curriculum. I recommend Shadow of a Doubt, but you're still allowed to pick whatever one you want.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shadow of a Doubt's a badass film. Very scary.
He's got the Masterpiece collection out. It's got like 20 of his films on Blu-ray.
Oh.
I might just go by that. I want to see The Birds. Shadow of a Doubt, I want to
Shadow of a Doubt's really good. I told you the story kind of.
Strangers on a Train, I want to see
that's
that
another,
one.
yep.
And Rope. I want to see that one.
Yeah, Rope's not the most entertaining, but the film technique is really cool.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. It's not the most suspenseful.
Yeah. Well, it gets a lot of... some people don't think it was done as effectively as Hitchcock tried to pull off. But I haven't seen it.
It kind of lags. It's just a dinner party. The whole movie is a dinner party.
Yeah.
And the body's in the whole tension is that there's a body in the chest. It's kind of funny. They kill him and then they throw a party for him.
Yeah.
And all his family comes and his girlfriend comes. Like, where's Alfred? And it's just funny that they've killed him. But it's about the two. When one guy starts to crack, he just doesn't think they can get away with it. And that's where the suspense comes in. And Jimmy Stewart plays their teacher. It's pretty cool. It's like a cat and mouse game. He's talking to them and he kind of realizes, wow, they might have done a murder here. It's a pretty good movie. But I would definitely, Shadow of a Doubt's creepy. She invites her Uncle Charlie. I think you'd like Shadow of a Doubt. It's actually really good. It's an old film, though. It's like 42 or something.
Yeah, that's all right.
One of his early ones.
Good.
But every time they asked him what his favorite movie was of his own, he always said Shadow of a Doubt. So that's one reason I would put that above the rest.
Yeah. Just
to see what he was talking. He was really fond of that one. His first Hollywood movie, I think.
But you got to wonder, too, is he looking at it from a filmmaker, like his experiences making the film, or is he looking at it as personally...
His own personal favorite film.
Watching?
What is the one you almost want to be remembered for, really, more than anything? Well, that's his own personal... Shadow of a Doubt is real fun. There's a lot of murder talk.
Because I can see, if you're a filmmaker and you're making these movies, you're going to have... I mean, you're watching the film as an audience member when you sit back and watch the film subjectively, but also you're looking at the experiences you had making the film. Like... I can totally see that with me. Like, my most fun film for me was Loose Change. I didn't have fun making Attack of the Bee movies or Walk Beside Eden. But Walk Beside Eden is definitely my most personal film.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So.
Well, they're definitely asking what his favorite film, but yeah, it's a... Yeah.
Well, it could go either way, I guess.
Yeah. Poor young lady. It's just a creepy story because he seems so nice and the family loves him. It's her mother's brother, so it's... and she really starts to begin, he's a serial killer. And it's just a very creepy idea, and he's very... he hates women. He calls them pigs. He talks about them like they're not even people. And it's just a cat and mouse game because she starts to realize he's a killer. And it's very creepy because, like I said, it's a cat and mouse. She goes, I know you did it. And, he's a very famous... Yeah, it's a very good movie. You'd like it a lot. That was a good compliment to him. I appreciate that. I wanted to talk about Spirited Away.
All right, let's do it.
Because that was a movie I saw with you recently.
Well, I've probably seen that fully about 3 or 4 times in the last 10 years since it came out. So
what made you watch it? You just heard about it, and
Well,
it probably blew you away.
It came out in 2002, which is right around the time that I graduated from film school. So, like I said, around that time, I was really getting into all kinds of films and just starting to really, not starting to, but I to this day have a big appreciation of animation, especially Japanese animation, because there's so much more context in Japanese animation. There's just so much more there that you'll never get in American animation. You think of animation in America, you think about, Chris Rock as a fucking zebra. That's animation for us, but you just, even the stuff you see on Cartoon Network is just recycled.
Anime, you're talking about anime. Is what
yeah.
You're talking
well,
about.
That's what I'm saying. Cartoon Network has a lot of anime too, but it's just not, the stuff I've seen is...
From what I gather, it's about this girl that went to another world, really. She was transported. She goes with her family, and they go through this long tunnel to this town. And before she knows, all this weird stuff's happening, all these different characters, and she has to take a pill so she can... right? Well, she starts to fade away, wasn't it? And she lives at I guess you could call it like a bathing house?
It's a bathhouse for spirits.
A bathhouse.
Yeah.
Yep, a bathhouse for spirits. And over the time, I guess this one thing with a mask is following her and giving her all kinds of things. He turns out to be, like some kind of monster, I guess, or what?
Yeah, No Face.
No Face?
Yeah, that's his name.
So he starts eating everyone, gets real big, and she rescues. So what? And then they go on a train, and the boy makes it, there's lots of really cool characters. I like the Tatsu heads.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, the one thing that attracted me to that film was the animation, because I think I saw like the trailers for it and the video clips for it, and it was getting a lot of recognition. And animated films, unless you were like a Disney film like Beauty and the Beast, didn't get a lot of recognition. So this movie was winning all kinds of awards. So I sat down and watched it one day, rented it from, I think, Family Video, and just from beginning to end was really enticing. And that's the thing about it, is you're going to have a lot of questions about the story. You're going to have a lot of, why the hell what's happening here, what's going on, because it's all originality, man.
It's all fantasy.
Yeah. But it does, and that's one of the reasons why I love animation, is because you can make these leaps from point A to point B and not really have to explain anything.
It is pretty crazy because she's trying to go back. She wants to go back home, doesn't she? She wants to get back with her parents because her parents become pigs. I was laughing so hard when they pulled up. Oh, we'll just pay the bill when they get there. And it's,
yeah.
Sorry. Wow, look at all this! He's just like spooning it in.
Daddy's got credit cards and cash. Yeah,
lots of really cool characters, and she becomes a servant, and she helps that one really shit monster. What's the word for it?
The stink monster.
That was a memorable scene.
Yeah, who actually he ended up being, I think, like the water spirit.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
so it's just
her No Face go and
just the style of the characters. You had the Boiler Man with the 6 arms.
Yeah, that was very memorable with all those little ants running. Or
Yubaba and her sister with the really giant head and the giant nose, and they could like transform into different things.
The baby.
Yeah. So just a lot of
I got germs.
And the other thing I love about that too is, for the most part, it's a family film, but it gets pretty violent too. The part where the dragon gets all bloody because those paper birds are chasing him and cutting him. Yeah, I mean that's what I like.
I like the ending. None of these picture my parents, and she goes home.
Yeah,
but she wants to go back. Don't you get that feeling of it?
Yeah,
she looks back and she wants to go back.
Yeah,
like she's not happy. She got spirited away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
never thought about
it. But that's it. I mean, I liked it. Thank you so much. It was pretty cool. I liked it. Anything else you want to talk about it that you really like about it? The story.
Yeah, I mean, everything that makes it a good movie. It's one of those movies where I get kind of pissed off that I didn't make that movie because it's so original and there's a lot of familiar themes. I would consider it like if The Wizard of Oz had been made using Japanese culture, because that's what it reminded me of the most, with all these just dazzling characters and things. Yeah.
Pretty good. Any complaints?
Not really. No. That they didn't make a sequel. I mean, no, because it's such a great story, and when you have animation, you don't have to worry about getting the same actors to come back and reprise the role. And it's just such a very enticing story.
Endlessly
and very
imaginative,
emotional.
isn't that the word? Endlessly imaginative.
Exactly.
That's one thing that fantasy always has over other genres. Is with fantasy you can do anything because it's fantasy. You're allowed to break our reality. You can do things that aren't seen on Earth.
Yeah.
So with fantasy, the sky's the limit. I guess every genre does, but to me, fantasy
it had a lot of heart to it too. I really like Chihiro, the main character. There's a lot of heart. There's that one scene that always gets me where she just feels so hopeless and she starts crying, and the kid that helps her starts feeding her food and telling her it's going to be okay, and she just starts crying because she can't handle everything, and she's like this little 11-year-old girl.
Yeah, she sees her parents as pigs and
yeah,
this and that. right? All the different spirits.
And she learns a lot too. It's a film where she really comes through. She, there's the one scene where her lady friend tells her, "You've never worked a day in your life, have you?" And she actually does favors for the different spirits.
That is a theme of Spirited Away. Is like growing up, like in the real world. Like,
oh yeah.
It's all,
Thematically, I mean, it's, the story of Spirited Away has actually been told a lot, like many other movies, but it's just the style it's been done. The animation is dazzling, the characters, the styles of animation. Yeah. It's a very, very rich-looking film, and I just wish they made more movies like that. The guy who directed that, and I can't think of his name, but it's made that and other movies.
Yeah, he's a real popular.
Studio Ghibli is the studio, and usually when they come to the U.S., they're distributed by Disney. John Lasseter, who he does movies like Cars, and I think he produced Wreck-It Ralph. Well, he gets involved in the distribution of these Studio Ghibli films. If you remember at the very beginning, you had that introduction that was John Lasseter talking about how much. But anyway, the other movies he did, I saw Castle in the Sky, where Mark Hamill actually did a voice in that. That was a good one. He did one called Princess Mononoke, which is very popular. I haven't seen it yet.
Spirited Away is regarded as his best film, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, and I mean,
most popular.
It's one of my favorite animated films.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So I bought a couple of Blu-rays.
So I know Batman pretty well.
Yeah,
I can probably talk a little Batman. I want to see your points.
Huh?
I want to see your points you made about Batman, so we can talk about anything you want to bring up.
Well,
movie mistakes, is that what I heard?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, mistakes.
Movie flaws are just because. With me, if a movie is really entertaining, I very rarely look at movie flaws.
Can't you? Isn't that like calling a retarded kid on Double Dribble?
Okay, Chris Rock.
You said that, didn't you always say, we gotta give Blockbuster some kind of leeway?
Well, no, I was watching Batman last night, and it's almost a perfect film to me. Like, I'm watching it, like, every scene is really memorable, and then I was watching it closely last night. First time watching it on Blu-ray, and I'm like, hey, this movie has a couple of issues with it.
It's awesome. Oh,
some of them I've seen for a long time. The one I want to point out.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
The scene where the Batwing goes up in the sky, you see it shadowed in the moon, it comes down.
That's
and
badass.
Jack Nicholson has that really cool line, "Come and get me, you gruesome son of a bitch."
Right.
Then he pulls out that, 10-foot gun.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't that gun always look like it's pointed sideways?
Not at all.
You don't think so? To me, because that barrel is so fucking long, it looks like it's pointing sideways. It doesn't look like it's pointing out at the Batwing. It looks like it's...
Oh, the Batwing could have been anywhere. I don't even know.
When he's pointing that gun where you think the Batwing is coming, it looks like it's going off screen.
Right. What is this, fucking film class?
I'm just saying...
I never noticed that.
It never looked right to me.
Oh,
okay, maybe
it is a goofy-looking gun.
That's
the Batwing could have been anywhere. It could have been right there. It could have been over there.
No, he's pointing the gun right there, but the gun looks like it's going this way, like it's cockeyed. Watch it again. It looks really weird.
Probably not even a real gun. Yeah, I love that gun he pulls out.
Maybe I just have bad depth perception. I don't know.
No, I don't know. So, anyways, Batman.
There's a random scene. Okay, you remember the scene where Batman? It's right after Kim Basinger finds out he's Batman. She's in the cave, and can't we pretend to just love each other? Whatever that line. Can't we just try to love each other?
Oh, Alfred would never let her in the Batcave.
Huh?
Isn't that when Alfred let her in the Batcave?
Yeah.
A lot of people had a problem with that scene, just in general, because Alfred would never have done that.
Well, he did in the movie, so I guess he would have.
No, I know, but
anyway,
he would have been fired.
The scene.
Fuck you, Alfred! Get out! Get the fuck out!
Okay, Master Wayne, but she still knows you're fucking Batman. The scene right after that, Batman goes to destroy Axis Chemicals. Now, I'm watching this scene. There's nothing wrong with the scene per se, but it was really out of place. Like, he just goes in, all these henchmen start jumping around or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's like a 20-second scene. He goes in, drops that little bomb, and races off, and then it explodes. And then the Joker's like, "Yo, Junior Batman, come and get
me!"
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the scene like they didn't need that scene in there.
It was his chemical factory.
It's pure spectacle, I guess.
That was his chemical factory.
I was looking at that scene like you could have gone right to the next.
He was killing people with those chemicals being made in there.
I guess.
You had to show that. I mean, jeez.
It was whenever I watched.
That's a pretty cool scene too, though, when he just drops the bomb.
That's what I'm saying.
And
it's all spectacle. Like, there's not a lot of build up to it. I guess that's, I don't know. It's the scene that they could have omitted.
You like this movie or not? Then sounds like
shut up. No, I love this movie. It's just little things I picked up.
That's fair enough.
In the scene, it's I think right as Batman is coming through and he's cutting the balloons. There's a scene of a random guy just falling to his death from nowhere.
Oh yeah, one of the henchmen. I remember that. I always kind of like that.
It's just like
it's
really weird.
Adds up to the mayhem. Well, what? He slipped. He was on a rope. It adds to the mayhem.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's just random. It's random.
You want to talk about random? How about Joker just shooting Bob?
That's funny.
That's what I mean. I like when the guy falls. I mean, what was the guy thinking?
I've always wondered this. It's such a dark, serious movie. Then all of a sudden they start chasing Kim Basinger and Batman in the Batmobile, right?
Right.
Why are all of the cars shaped like Joker? They all have the green tops and the purple.
Because it's the Joker's henchman.
Weird. It's just so weird.
I like those cars, actually. Those cars are pretty sweet.
I don't know. It was weird. Why does Bob wear a face of the Joker on his jacket?
I'm starting to wonder if you're starting not to like the movie so much now.
No, I love the movie.
You're like picking a lot of things that aren't good about it, though.
I'm not saying they're not good.
You're starting to sway my opinion.
No,
I'm starting to think it's not as good.
No, I'm not saying that they're necessarily even flaws.
They're just good questions.
They're goofy things. Why does... Look at Bob's jacket.
I know.
Bob's jacket has a face of
They were the Joker's henchmen! For the 4th time!
Fucking Hitler
The Joker's henchmen.
Hitler didn't have the Nazis.
Of course they're going to have his logo on their coats. Of course they're going to drive cars with his colors.
Be the fucking
why not?
Romero Joker from
why
the 60s?
Not? Hey, well, fuck it. It was a nice touch.
It's just
wasn't it like the old school Joker too? It was like the old school.
Here's one that's kind of small, but I was noticing this. So the scene where the Joker is, come on, how often do I nitpick movies?
I know, I liked how I yelled there. Well, the Joker's henchman, that's why. Anyways,
in the scene where Joker and Vicky Vale are dancing upstairs in the bell tower,
Beauty and the Beast,
right? Batman's having the fight, like literally 5 feet away. Batman's having this fight, so obviously Joker knows Batman is there fighting in the background. It's literally right in the background.
What does he say? I got a belt in my belfry or whatever.
I got a belt in my belfry.
I got a bat in my belfry or something like that. I don't know what the hell he said. Anyways,
so
he's fighting the big black guy. The
fight ends, and the Joker acts surprised when Batman comes and fights him. Like, he was there the whole time. You would think once the battle ends and all that noise stops, he would know the Batman's right there.
Either that or the bad guy won. I think he trusted his men to take care of Batman. You'd think they would have.
I don't think they thought
that guy. Actually, that Batman got lucky on that fight because that guy was probably going to win that fight. In all honesty, Batman got a little lucky.
Well, that's the thing. I think his henchmen were more powerful than the Joker. Actually.
Oh yeah, the Joker wasn't strong at all. It didn't matter. Well, it was his sick, demented mind.
They were the muscle. Yeah.
Grissom's men, right? Yeah, Grissom. He takes over his men. Yeah.
Oh.
So until Grissom resurfaces.
But in all honesty, I think the reason why I really love Batman because it's one of my top 25 favorite movies.
Well,
it's my favorite superhero movie.
Oh.
The reason Batman works, I noticed it last night.
Well, no,
there's a lot of reasons.
Is there any more movie flaws you had? Are we done there?
That's it.
Are you sure?
I think.
The reason Batman works the way it does. Oh!
I'm talking about that now, you dickhead.
Oh, okay. I guess we did go through all your more points. I think I countered just fine, though.
The reason why I think Batman works is because I'm watching the first half an hour, and I'm like, besides that opening scene where he shows up and beats up those two henchmen, American Express card, don't leave home without it.
Right.
Yeah. That's the only time you see Batman, and then you have to wait like a half an hour before you see him again.
That's good.
Well, today that wouldn't really happen necessarily, and I'm like, why does Batman work so well if you don't even see him till
because he's in the shadows
in the movie, right? But that's the thing. The
Cape Crusader.
The movie builds up fear and mystery of the character before he actually makes a meaningful on-screen appearance. There's all this build-up, and then when he shows up in the shadows, it's that much more effective.
There's nothing wrong with build-up, my good man.
No, I'm not saying that
at all.
Nothing
wrong at
all. I'm
all.
saying that's why it works.
Yeah,
if you pay attention, you would understand what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah. Well, are you done breaking down Batman? I can defend my man Tim Burton. I think every point you made, I countered it just fine. I think your points are mute.
I don't think they are. I think they're very valid.
Why were there ghosts? Why were the cars?
So if you were like an evil boss, kingpin or whatever, you would actually make your henchmen wear fucking coats with your.
They look badass. I like that. Let's broaden our minds. Leave this one alone, Bob. Kind of like it.
I just thought it was funny because isn't Bob the only one that wears that fucking Joker head on his? Or
he might. They're best friends in real life. That's why him and Jack are. Yeah. This is funny when he shoots him.
Him and Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
Our best friends.
So it's well, we're really good friends. Yeah. That's how he got the part. Yeah, look it up. Could have sworn. That's why he's in there. He doesn't have much of a part, but
no, but that's kind of funny.
Just remember, Bob, you are my number one. I like when he just shoots him. Got even in alone, boys. Yeah. Oh, I like that, man. It's cool to read about the production about, it was such a big movie to come out, and like I said, Tim Burton wasn't seen as a good pick, and then Michael Keaton was a lot of fan backlash. But as you always point out, fans will always bitch, but when the movie comes out, they shut up because they realize it was the right choice all along. Who's going to be the next Batman?
I don't know. I'm not looking forward.
Who do you want?
Who do I want as Batman?
I think it's Josh Brolin that's in the running. He's some 49-year-old. Swear to God.
I don't know that much about the character to really make that decision.
What, Bruce Wayne?
And I don't know that.
You've seen all the Batman movies. What do you mean you don't know anything about Batman?
there's a lot more to Batman than just the movies.
Well, fair enough, but
I don't know enough about contemporary actors, really, like today's actors, to really make that decision because I don't know. I mean, obviously Michael Keaton's probably too old to do it, and I didn't really think I didn't think Val Kilmer was that great, and I obviously didn't like George Clooney, so I don't know. And,
oh no, it's boiling acid. Can't forget that.
And honestly, I didn't care for Christian Bale.
He was fine.
In terms of the character,
he was pretty good.
I liked the Nolan movies.
He was a good Bruce Wayne. Maybe not in Batman, but
I don't know.
As Bruce Wayne,
I didn't
really good.
I didn't like the direction they took Bruce Wayne in those movies, though. Yeah. I liked the very the subtlety that Michael Keaton brought to it, and that's how I'd like to see it again.
Keaton had that tortured look. He had that look of a man that's been through a lot.
Well, they said they cast him strictly because of his eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know who would make.
Do you ever eat in here? Actually, I've never been in this room.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Movie. It was all over the pavement.
Oh shit! I just like when
do the kid a favor. Don't scream. Stop. One interesting thing about Batman though is I don't know if comics, but Joker killed his parents.
Yeah,
that's not true, right? In the comics,
I don't know. I don't know what's more true.
95% sure that Joker did not kill Batman's
But
parents.
you got to realize too, in the comics, there are different variations. There's different like tangents.
It was like some hoodlum. He had a name, but he was responsible. But to have the Joker
Batman
do
Begins, there's another variation of that too.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess they did because it makes the match a lot more interesting. I guess.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I thought it worked fine.
We've been ratted out here, boys. Yeah. Watch it. I love Jack, man. He's my favorite actor.
Hey, Eckhart, think about the future.
You ain't got no future, Jack.
You're an A1 nut boy, and Grissom knows it.
Your problems are our problems.
Better be sure.
That's right. No, you got to watch some Jack Nicholson movies, man. He's my favorite actor. Yeah. He's just so smooth. And
it was really cool to see him actually talk.
He's got a great look. He's got a great voice.
Yeah, it was cool to see him actually talk about the Joker, though, because I wouldn't have thought he'd be fond of that character or interested about talking about why he did that character, but it's
I think he's real. I always love that story when he was yelling at everyone. I guess there was a day on the set he was really pissed about something. He was yelling really mad, but he had this smile on his face, and everyone couldn't stop laughing at him. He was like really mad. He was, God damn it! But he had this smile on his face, so everyone kept cracking up. It just looked humorous. And I think he told Kim Basinger one time, I guess she was like having affairs with like the writer or something.
Oh, really?
She's sleeping with people, and Jack was all like, tell that guy whose dick you're sucking he's an asshole. Something like that. Yeah, he still makes money from Batman. That's unheard of. He got percentage of the box office, which is amazing. That's unheard of. I don't think they do that anymore, really. A percentage of the box office gross. I mean, jeez, it's a signature role.
He's having a lot of fun.
He's had a few. You gotta watch him in The Shining. He is remarkable in The Shining too.
Yeah,
you'll see just that he plays villains really good, is what he does.
I think the only other Jack Nicholson movie I've seen is Anger Management. I'm sorry, I just have not seen it. I tried watching The Shining.
He's been in some good ones. The Shining is great. No, just because it is Stanley Kubrick, and it's also one of my favorite actors. Oh, I love Jack, man.
I got to see One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That movie just didn't do it for me.
I like that one a lot. Hey, great performances. You got to give it that. I like the camera work. Because it's all close-ups. Almost everything is close-ups, and the way they shoot it is like... When she asks someone something, they cut to him like this.
My favorite Milos Forman film is Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey.
That might change after you watch Cuckoo's Nest. It's a lot of fun. I can't help it. It's really funny. It's got Jack, I think, and Randall P. McMurphy, right? And, that was his name. Nurse Ratched. She's kind of a cunt, ain't she, Doc?
She was in Exorcist too.
I know.
She played the nurse in that movie too, or the caseworker or whatever.
He just says it. Oh, I got in a fight, huh? Mike Tyson's got into 50 and he's a millionaire. It's true. I don't know. Hey, that's worth watching again. It's got Brad Dourif. It's got a great supporting cast. It's got Christopher Lloyd, I believe, in his very first role.
Yeah.
Maybe she thinks you're some kind of sick asshole or something. I don't know. You gotta watch it. I'm sorry. You'd love it. I know you will. It's really funny. I want my cigarettes! Mine! And Jack just breaks the glass and, here, take the goddamn cigarettes. Sorry. It's just funny. And Christopher Lloyd gets that match in his shoot. He's just like, woo! Come on, Harvey, play the game. Play the game. I am playing the game. Play the game. They're playing Monopoly, and Danny DeVito keeps putting a hotel. I got a hotel. No, you don't have I got a hotel. Oh, you don't have a hotel. You need 4 houses. Hotel. God, you always want to play cards or jerk off. See, it's your kind of movie. I know it is, Lenny. Just watch it again. You'll love it. It's real good. Milos Forman, and he's a very well-acclaimed director.
I think when I was watching it, like 2 years ago, I was really pissed off at the time because I knew that I wouldn't get my Berserk today.
Shut up. No, what is remarkable? What is remarkable? Kuznets to sweep the awards, all 5 major categories, is really phenomenal to do. Only 3 films have done it in history.
I remember back in 2000 when Toxic Avenger Part 4 came out.
What a segue.
I went to like 7 stores.
So yeah.
And I couldn't find the fucking movie, and then finally I found it. Well, it's like 20 years later or whatever, 10, 15 years later, and there's not as many stores anymore. Like there's no fucking Circuit City. There's no Battle Creek USA. There's nothing. There's no where did I find it finally? I think I found it at Media Play or whatever that fucking
Mammoth Video.
Yeah.
Hot hits
in the porno section. Yeah.
Hot hits. No, but it's true about Cuckoo's. I mean, to win all 5, that's the same year Jaws came out. So that's why Jaws didn't win as many awards as it might have been able to do. But yeah, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Movie, and Best Director and Screenplay.
It sometimes it feels like if there's 2 movies that are competing for like best film or whatever. This happened in '94 also between
big time.
Shawshank Redemption and Forrest Gump, and a lot of people feel Shawshank should have won, which is funny because Shawshank and Forrest Gump are my 2 favorite movies.
Oh, don't forget about Pulp Fiction, my friend. Well, what should have won, Forrest Gump or Shawshank Redemption? What I heard. Well, even Pulp Fiction. Some people would even say Pulp Fiction's even better than those 2 movies.
Which is funny because Pulp Fiction is also on that top 25 list.
Yeah. It's in the top 5 in the IMDb.
I don't know.
That list is pretty solid. I don't really agree with all their like best choices, but
yeah,
I think the solid.
Well, I think the way I ranked them on my list, because Pulp Fiction is still very fresh to me, and I just saw that for the first time last year.
Oh, that's right. That's true. But you've been watching Shawshank for how long?
A long time.
That's what I mean. That's a difference.
Out, so,
and
and Forrest Gump, same thing though. And
hard choice. Not easy.
Something about Forrest Gump just stands out to me. There's a reason why I picked that movie as like my number 1.
Oh, that's favorite. Your number 1 movie, yeah.
Yeah, and Shawshank is number 2.
Of the 90s or all time?
All time.
Oh, okay.
Really? All right.
Nice
so,
laugh.
Batman. So, this is the other DVD that I picked up.
Yeah. You want to talk about Power Rangers?
Yeah, I do. So, I know, I was thinking about that. They're called putties. They should have been called pussies because that's what they sound like.
Oh, they couldn't fight. You know who really sucks? I have to point this out is the fucking Foot Clan. I mean, I'm sorry, but those guys were terrible. Yeah. And it was funny because they had to go through all those tests.
Looking for you, Miss.
No, they had to go through all their tests to get there, and they can't fight for shit. They were terrible. I'm sorry. Anyways,
I agree.
Anyways,
Power Rangers is a severe guilty pleasure, and I can't defend it because it's a dumbass show. And I don't know why I got into it.
I think in the beginning it wasn't that dumb.
It's very dumb.
A lot of kids loved it. Can't be that dumb. Well, I guess kids do love dumb stuff.
I know a lot of kids loved it, and that's the thing. I'm not even putting those kids down. I'm one of those kids that loved it. But looking back at it in retrospective, I don't. Power Rangers, like a lot of those shows, X-Men, Ninja Turtles, fucking Captain Planet, they all had their hooks. Power Rangers had its hook. You know, it had the Zords, it had the toys, it had the merchandising. Yeah. Power Rangers was huge when it came out.
That was every kid's dream. Being a superhero and having its Morphin time was classic.
Yeah, but do you remember how hard it was to get those fucking toys during Christmas time? Those were like the fucking Turbo Man in
kids loved it, man.
All the Way.
Yeah. It hasn't aged very well. I guess that's the word. It
hasn't aged at all very well.
Yeah, it's kind of films don't age. Well, they do, but you know what I mean. They're kind of stuck in the year they were made.
Yeah. So I picked up the DVD of the first season. You know, it comes in 2 volumes. I picked up volume 1 and 2 of the first season. Brought back some memories, but I do have some beefs with the show. Have you ever seen Power Rangers?
It's been a long time.
Okay. So, the Megazord. When all the Zords come together and they form Megazord.
What is this, the bitching hour?
Yeah. Well, why not?
Lenny bitches a lot. The new Schmuckast.
Yeah, well. You fucking dick! Why do you always got to come over and spill your pop on my floor?
That's not that bad.
And fucking break my chairs and just oh my god, dude!
I'm still looking for reimbursement for that.
I am.
For my doctor bill.
Oh, fuck you then.
Oh,
take it out of the money you owe me for the chairs. So the Megazord, they have whenever the Megazord forms, it takes 2 minutes for the Megazord to come together. They always had that very long sequence of the Zords coming together.
Is this really what we're talking
the monster is just sitting there looking at it like, duh. Like, why doesn't it just squash them then when it's coming together? Why does it have to sit there and wait for the 2-minute transformation?
It's a fucking kid's show. Leave it alone. Come on, man. What is
These
this?
are things that I'm questioning.
Well, yeah, every show is going to have silly things.
So, almost every episode, Rita, right? She gets the monsters to grow bigger. The monster always grows giant before the Rangers get into their Zords. So why couldn't just one episode just be like, make my monster grow! And then the monster grows and then steps on all the fucking Rangers and they die. I don't understand why they can't do that.
That'd be a Hollywood kind of ending.
That's what I would do. That's what they should have done a long time ago. Yeah.
So anyway.
The shortest fucking episode ever. Here's something that I noticed. Notice how the Power Rangers, when they're in their costumes, they pretty much act out every line of dialogue. They're always like, all right, guys, let's get into our Zords. Come on.
Sound like Goofy.
Yeah. But seriously, do you ever notice that?
I haven't watched Power Rangers in a long time. Years.
I think it's because their helmets.
It's not even worth talking about.
Well, come on, man.
Or bitching about anyways, for that matter.
It's worth bitching about.
No, it's not.
So people used to complain all the time that, it's so stupid. Their masks have mouths and their mouths don't move. Well, the mouth is part of their mask. So, but it's like
everybody's a critic.
If you look at Spider-Man, the scene where Spider-Man is talking to Green Goblin on that rooftop, neither one of their mouths move. So it's basically like two action figures talking. Hey, Green Goblin, don't touch me. I'm Green Goblin and Spider-Man, and it's just two action figures talking. Well, that's what it would have been like in Power Rangers had they not been like.
I know why you're mad today.
Doing their flipping.
You didn't get your Berserk today.
Yeah,
you're mad. He's taking it out on the podcast world. He went to go get Berserk on Blu-ray, and of course, no store has it. But they got the new Justin Bieber concert on film.
Yay!
Might want that.
Fucking rape me in the ass right now.
Did you get anything at Best Buy?
Yeah, Evil Dead on Blu-ray.
Evil Dead?
Yeah, the remake.
Oh yeah, we talked about that quite a lot last podcast. Thank you. And Halloween. You surprised me with Halloween. Thank you. I enjoyed talking about that.
But I'm not done with Power Rangers. So you would think an intergalactic ruler like Rita would kind of learn on a more rapid basis.
So there I was.
No, seriously. Every episode, there's 60 episodes in the first season. I've seen like half of them. Okay, I've seen all of them. But every episode, whenever they bring out their Megazord sword, their power sword, or whenever they kill an enemy, Rita looks surprised. Like, oh no, it's Megazord! That's an actual line. In all the episodes, oh no, it's Megazord! As she's yelling with her
What was their god's name? Zed or?
Zordon.
Rangers!
Zordon. No, Zed was the red guy with the...
Yeah. Zordon.
Rangers, I'm a disfigured head.
Can you do a good impression of the dumb tiger? He had the body armor on. The bad guy, the golden lion or whatever. He had that stupid voice.
The fucker.
The Rangers! I'm Goldar! Rah! I'll get them, my princess queen! Fuck! They will never fail me again! Okay. All right.
I'm really into this show.
Are we still looking up Mighty Morphin Power Ranger plot holes?
Well, no, you would just think that after like 60 episodes, she would come up with a plan to squash the Power Rangers and not be so fucking surprised when they pull together Megazord for the 80th time.
How far are we into this fucking thing? Any more Batman?
No, Power Rangers.
We barely even touched upon Batman, you fuck.
I talked about everything, and then you started complaining that I was tearing it apart, so
you
we
were
stopped.
Tearing it apart.
I was. It's a good movie.
It's not even that good now. You know what? Fuck this movie.
Before you do something to it.
Why are the Joker's cars purple? Why do they have Joker symbols on their jackets?
So, Power Rangers, why do the characters outside of their costumes wear the same color clothes as their costumes?
That's kind of cool.
No, it's not.
I just thought of that.
It's stupid.
Oh, well, whatever.
Why would they? It's like I'm the Red Ranger, so I got to wear red clothes all the time. And I'm an Indian. I've got red
that
skin,
way
so.
there's a distinction. That's how you know who's who.
Yeah, because the characters are so
they all look like Abercrombie and Fitch models. I mean,
the characters are so bland that they need colors to distinguish
fucking
them.
replicants, you know?
And why are teenagers with attitudes the only ones who can save the world from Rita?
Bulk and Skull? Oh. No, come on. Zordon was the only one that could save. Zordon was kind of the whole point of everything. He
was a head. He didn't do anything.
Rangers! He was their everything. He didn't
do anything. He said he was a fucking
head. He gave him information. And
Rangers! Rita's in the park.
But wasn't he Rita's nemesis? That was her nemesis.
He was a head in a fucking sperm jar.
But he was, right?
Yeah, but he didn't do anything.
That's all I'm saying. He was it was him and Rita. They were the two gods going at it.
I guess it worked for the Ninja Turtles. If they can be teenagers, they can have teenage superheroes fighting the world because experienced adults can't do shit.
You're doing a turtle script. Are you still working on that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay,
I haven't worked on it in a while.
Let's do a script reading.
No, let's not.
I'd say we did.
Yeah.
Fourth favorite Friday the 13th film.
What is yours?
I'm still mulling over it. I don't know.
Mine is
my fourth favorite. I'm still trying
Jason
to think
Takes
of it.
Manhattan.
Yeah, it's so hard to think about it because there's a lot of good, decent candidates. 2 and 3 are fine. Jason Takes Manhattan's fine.
I was listening to the Freddy podcast today, actually, and so what you were saying in that podcast was that Freddy only has 2 strong entries, and Jason, you said, only has 3. But you think there's more good entries in Jason than there are in Freddy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
No, I thought that. I just even the lesser movies in Freddy, I always thought were at least intuitive, and they tried something.
I'll say this: The Dream Child is the worst film of all of them.
Yeah,
The Dream Child. I would rather watch A New Beginning, honestly, than Dream Child.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jason fucking killing everyone, swearing. It's not that bad. You call it a guilty pleasure. I can't call Dream Child a guilty pleasure. I just can't. It's got like 2 standout scenes, but it doesn't make me want to watch the whole fucking 95-minute movie.
Yeah.
No offense.
No, I agree.
But it's true. Yeah, I guess highly recommended horror films. I can think of 3 Jasons, but only 2 Freddys.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 Freddys. I don't know. The only one I can think of is Part 2, but that's gay.
I'm surprised. Why did you say that's gay?
Well, it is. Anyways.
It
is kind of gay, and the bird explodes randomly.
But is that the reason not to like it? I mean,
well, for me it is.
You don't have any gay friends?
I mean, well, hey, whatever floats your boat.
All right.
Or your dinghy.
You heard it here, people.
Oh, so what were we just talking about there?
The Gay Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah, so anyways. My 4th favorite Jason movie. Drum roll.
Part 7?
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Really?
I think I agree with you. Yep, I agree with you. There you go.
It's not a bad movie. I mean, for a Jason film, it's less.
You have to change the scenery, which is nice. Yeah. You get New York.
It is less violent.
The kills are pretty cool. Yeah, there's some. And he teleports, which is really dumb. I mean, that was just bad. I mean, yeah. That's why I like Part 4 a lot because he runs. But
you know what though?
He runs.
I did notice that about 8. I'm sure everyone did that. He teleports from A to B, but that's not enough to really make me be like, oh, that's bullshit. Jason would never do that.
Well, it's just terrible the way it's done, though. It's like he's all the way over there. They turn around and all of a sudden he's right there.
Yeah, it does get a little old.
It was just overdone.
Yeah.
But whatever. A lot of kills.
I think the worst one, the worst example of that was in the disco ballroom with that Asian girl.
Oh, he choked her?
He pierced every doorway.
That was really bad. Really bad scene. Very bad. Doesn't she try to seduce her teacher? Yeah. It's my art project.
Not the Asian chick, the other.
It's the art project.
The blonde chick, yeah.
Yeah, he gets her pretty good. He breaks. Yeah, the kills aren't. Yeah. Damn. Well, yeah, it makes you almost think 2 maybe because 2 has a lot of good kills, and it kept in the spirit of the first. But I don't know.
I like the ending of 2 better than the first one.
I love
when he puts
really?
on
she puts on got a great ending.
When she puts on the shirt and starts.
They're both good endings, but I'm telling you, the first one's just fine too. Come on. Chops his mother's hat off.
I like that. I never liked when Jason jumps out of the water, though.
That scared the fuck out of me, too. Yeah. When you first watch it, you don't see that coming.
Yeah,
That's a very good scare. And then she has that classic last line. Well, then he's still out there.
Yeah.
Great ending. Mysterious.
That's a good ending.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're both great. I mean, I can't say 2's better than 1 because 2 has a great ending, too.
Overall, I think 1 is probably better. I don't know. For a long time, I thought that 2 was better than 1.
But your opinion has changed over time. Yeah. I think you've appreciated the first movie a little bit better.
Well, like I said, I used to, and in a way, I still like Dream Warriors, the best of the Freddy series. But over time, I think I've
they go hand in hand.
Gestated more towards the first.
The first and third, they go hand in hand. To me, it's like one movie. To me, it's like. It's not even. It's like picking your favorite kid. They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I watch Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm going to want to watch Dream Warriors. It makes me want to watch, and they're very seamless too. Yeah. Dream Warriors really is like the continuation of the first movie.
Yeah.
The second one, it's its own.
Yeah. The other sequels.
2 benefits because Freddy's still nice and dark, and that's why I almost would say that's probably the 3rd best one because at least it's still kind of scary. And you got the great transformation sequence.
I don't know if I like 2 better or 4 better.
2 by far.
Really?
I've seen 4. I do not think that's a very good movie at all. It's hard to watch. Like I said,
it
has a few good parts, but like I said, it doesn't warrant me to sit there and watch the whole movie because it's filled with bad acting, really bad acting for a horror.
I don't think the acting is that bad.
It's pretty bad.
I think the weakest part of 4 is Tuesday Night replacing Patricia Arquette. I think that's the worst part.
Yeah, no, I think 2's better than 4. Like I said, it's a little scary. And you got the transformation sequence, which is the best, and you got the classic pool.
I like how epic 4 is, though. I mean, it may not be the best written one, or even the scariest one, but I like the feel of 4.
Just kind of dull, but yeah. Anyways,
I get what you're saying, though.
I don't say Freddy's Dead is better than 4 and 5. I almost would take that because it's a little bit funnier. Yeah, well, then they go. Don't they revisit his old town or what? Where did they go in Freddy's Dead?
It was Springwood. It's just
Springwood. That's the name. Thank you. I was always wondering.
Well, they all take place in Springwood.
Oh, okay. I knew there was a town. Oh, really? All of them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the city that it takes place
on Fear Street. Or Fear Street.
Fear Street. All right, R.L.
Pretty hard.
My wife was looking at my shirt today. I'm wearing a red Millennium Falcon shirt. She goes, "What's the Millennium Falcon?" And I'm like, "That's the ship in Star Wars that Han Solo drives." Oh, who? Who's Han? Harrison Ford. She actually says this. Harrison Ford is not in Star Wars.
You're with the wrong woman, Lenny. My God, I would have to dump her. I'd be like, "No, that's just not going to work."
I'm like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah, she's not there. Are you fucking with me? Is he really in Star Wars?" I'm like, "Yeah, he plays Han Solo."
You should have made it up. Oh, the Millennium Falcon's a bus. And then she'd be at a dinner party and be like, "Oh, I saw Star Wars. You know, a big bus, right?"
I'm like, "Well, what else do you know Harrison Ford from?" Because I'm trying to make sure she knows who Harrison Ford is. "Oh, yeah, he's Indiana Jones." I'm like, "Yeah, his most memorable roles, Indiana Jones and
good guess, man.
Good guess. Han Solo, yeah."
Yeah, I like Harrison Ford a lot. I've seen a lot of his movies. That's another actor I like a lot. Witness, saw Witness. That was kind of all right. Blade Runner, obviously, I love. So I mean,
yeah,
that's just
I
another
don't know.
one.
Honestly,
we gotta watch Blade Runner sometime, man. You know, because in that podcast we talked about it, and I could tell it was starting to get to you. Finally, you're starting to kind of come around to it a little.
Yeah.
And the next time you watch it, it'll get you even better, and it just before you know it, you're gonna fall in love with it. Because I fall in love with it now.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I always stress this. A lot of the movies I like now, I never liked the first time I watched them. It definitely took a little time, and I'm so glad I did because it rewarded me to just.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that with all sincerity. Just about every movie I love now, the first time was very not much.
Yep, I gotcha.
But once you know, something like Vertigo, that'd be something cool to watch.
Well, like I said, I liked Vertigo. I just got to revisit it.
Yeah, all that. It is Hitchcock.
Yep.
All right, man. Signing out. This is Matt Weatherford.
Lenny Sherman.
Thanks for watching Schmuckast. You all right, Lenny?
You don't watch it. You listen to it.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for watching. I mean listening.
Listening. Don't break any more of my chairs.
Yeah. Here, I got $20 for you right here. It's in my car. I'll give you $20. That's fine.
All right. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Bye.
Awkward silence. Naked man.